Gary here on the Huddle, Fox Sports 1700, brought to you by Miracle Medical in Weslaco, home of the Dawn Joy Brace. You want the brace that the pros wear, go to Miracle Medical in Weslaco. Christina Salas in McAllen. State Farm Insurance, reach her at 994-0007. And McDonald's, I'm loving it, across the Rio Grande Valley, now serving breakfast all day. So that's good for
all
you.
day.
You can get your pancakes now.
Yeah. Deluxe big breakfast.
All right, so welcome into the Huddle now, Coach Ramiro Leal from Donna, and congratulations, Coach. 32 5A champions, your first district championship as a head coach. How does it feel?
Oh, I can't even put it in words, to be really honest with you. It was a really special moment last night, finally winning the district championship outright, after all the hard work these kids have put in all through the offseason and all through the summer. It finally paid out. It was a joyous moment.
Do you look back at all at last year, Coach, and thinking, what if? Because if Amani Bowen doesn't go down with a collarbone injury, that maybe you guys can win that district championship last year as well?
I'm not going to lie to you. Of course, hindsight, I thought about that, and I guess everybody else thought about it after seeing what a great year he's had. He's an exceptional young man, not just an athlete, but just as a person. He's a very special kid. And just to think, what would have happened if we would have had him completely last year with also Doherty and Paul and most of the entire line that we had coming back. We would thought, we could probably been a repeat, but, it is what it is. Things happen in football, things happen in life, and, for whatever reason it is, we're just very happy that we got a chance to get him back this year and win a district championship this year.
I know you appreciate this district championship, Coach. I've been around your all's program. I've been around Donna plenty of times. I know you guys. I know the coaches. You start off the season 0-2, and I know as coaches, myself coming from a coaching family, it's not good when you start off losing, right?
No, you really don't. I think sometimes that's when you start, it creates doubt sometimes in players, creates doubt sometimes in coaches, creates doubt, of course, in the community. What are they really doing? Are they doing the right thing? Me as a head coach going into it, I thought, the best thing for our kids is to play some high quality type teams, in the sense of, the competition level to get the kids prepared. But then you start doing it, and then you start thinking, well, was it the right thing to do? Kids are down themselves. They lost the games. If we lose another game, we're going to be 0-3. Did I do the right thing? I just think sometimes, it just depends how you look at it. But I think, all in all, the reason why we won the district championship is because those games we played early. It got us really mentally prepared and physically prepared. And I think that it carried us over, kept us humble throughout the first part of the year and just carried us through for the rest of the season.
And I can remember that first game against Brownsville Veterans. You guys were down, was it 21-0 or 28-0 at the half?
At one point, we were down 28, I think 28-6 was the 6 point. And it's like, holy moly, this is just like the beginning of the second half. And then you start thinking, man, what's going on? You think you're at some level, but then you're figuring out that maybe you're not at the level you thought you were. And, it starts creating no doubt. But I remember that game vividly as about, it was like it was yesterday. And I went into the half and, instead of ripping on the kids, I just said, hey, man, I really don't care about the score. The score is irrelevant right here. The biggest thing I ask you to do is just not to quit. Go out and compete the best level possible. The easiest thing to do in life is to quit. And, you're not quitters. Just go out and just prepare what we normally do and do the things that we do. It's, learn from mistakes and go. Whatever happens at the very end, as long as we come back and compete, we'll be fine. We made it a ball game. We came back, it was tied 42-42 with about 2 minutes. And, of course, they had the ball last and ended up scoring. But I think that was a big turning point also going in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the two teams that you lost to are playoff teams, very high-caliber teams. And like you said, you're now
ready. You go back, hindsight now, there's a couple of plays here or there that we could have gone 10-0. And I know we had that fumble that Wesco scored, and we threw that pick in the end zone, we would have gone up 21-7, I think, at half. And, a lot of things could have changed. But, I think sometimes, and I really do honestly believe this, sometimes a loss is just as good as a win. I really do believe that. It keeps things in perspective, keeps you humble, it makes you hungry. I think sometimes those two, that they were not lost, they were losses. They were kind of maybe a mental victory for us to get us refocused. Because, we had all this expectation, all this hype going into the preseason and how good of a team we were. So I think they might have played, even though it might have been a loss, it might have played into our hands, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And if you ever need a pep talk, I'm talking to the public now, just follow a football team for a couple of weeks. Just hang out with them and listen to the speeches that the coaches give you, because I did that a couple of years with Don. I do that every year, but I did it a couple of years, and it just gets you motivated when you listen, to all your speeches and all that. So you had to do some of that this year with the Redskins to keep them on task. So good job, Coach.
Well, thank you very much. And like I said, when I speak to my kids, I get asked a lot, do you plan it? I said, I really don't. I'm the type of person that speaks from the heart. Whatever I feel, I just speak. And I think I have a really big connection with some of these kids. growing up from a real humble background, that I can relate to a lot of those things, which I think makes it very easy to come up with some of this type of motivational speeches, because I can relate to certain things that they're going through. And, everybody has their own cases. Everybody has their own problems. Everybody has their ups and downs, and when it comes when it's all said and done, they're kids. They're 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, and they're going through a lot, and sometimes they have a hard time, dealing with the stresses of being a kid. So as a coach, you got to find ways in which you can motivate them and keep them on task, to be honest.
I'm going to keep you on speed dial, Coach, because whenever I need to pick me up, I'm going to give you a call.
Okay, you do that.
And I know you can do that. But congratulations. Y'all win the district championship. The first one since 2007. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, sir.
All right. So now you move on to the next round of the playoffs in Mission Vets, and Jake Berry is just itching to ask you some questions. But
I'm sure Jake is.
Yeah, but you got your defense has come around and has played very, very well.
Let me tell you, defense has played exceptionally well. I think that I know we get a lot of attention because of the big names we got in the offense, but let me tell you, the defense, if you go back and look at the stats, they're not giving up a lot of points. Last night we gave up 7 points, but really it was offensive because we threw a pick and ended up getting the ball really short in a short field. But they're not giving. Last time Calgary was getting like 8 points a game, and for district play. And they've really stepped it up. They're playing like a unit. All the mistakes we did early in the year with the misalignments, the wrong calls that, some of these guys were making, it's got simplified, and they're playing. They're really playing, and I'm very proud of them. The coaches have done an outstanding job, to be honest with you.
Coach, I know you were at the Vela Vets game the other day. I know you
sure
saw Landry Gilpin. You saw Vela. When you were watching the game, I mean, what did you take away from that game? Because it was almost an eye awakener for like Greg Selber and I on the sidelines, because we didn't know how good the kid could be.
No, but let me tell you. I mean, I looked at the kid and I knew he was a freshman, but then I saw him play like that kid can't be a freshman. That guy's playing like a seasoned veteran. The kid is incredibly poised. I mean, he does not really get rattled. He doesn't make mistakes. I was in awe to see him play. I was like. And, this guy wasn't playing quarterback. I couldn't imagine because I mean, he just seemed like he'd been playing that spot all year long. He was extremely expressed. I was extremely impressed with the way he was playing. It was, to be honest, I was shocked. 21 something going 21-3 or something like that. I was like, wow. I couldn't believe it.
Now, as a fan, I really wanted to see a Vela Donna matchup, because I wanted to see two powerhouses go at it in the first round. But, for you, you're still going to have to play a really tough team because,
Yeah, let me tell you, both teams are exceptionally well. They're coached extremely well. Whether we played Vela, we played Vets, we knew we were going to be in for a hell of a game. Of course, Vela is more ground and pound type. They do take some shots and stuff, but they're physical. Not that Vets is not, by no means. But, we thought either way, matching up wise, it was going to be, you might have to approach it in different ways going into the game. But I was thinking at half, I went to go talk to Tom Campos, which is the coach reporter, and said, hey, we might be swapping this. We might be playing the things we thought going in. And, I thought at some point we were going to be playing Vela, to be honest with you.
Wow, that's incredible, too, because, and here's the thing. Nobody's seen a duo like you guys have. And Doherty and Bowen. I mean, that's a powerhouse. I don't think anybody on that side of the valley has seen your team, and been able to see the speed that you guys have.
Running attack, yeah.
I guess as we played the district, a lot of the coaches that I talked to afterwards is that they rep the plays. It's just they can't simulate how those guys run, and that's been something that even us at practice sometimes when we run scout. We're running the other opponents, and sometimes we make a long run and I look at my corner and he goes, don't worry about it. the guy's not going to be as good as that guy is. Not to put anybody down or anything, but, those guys break things and make things happen even on scout. I'm like, how are they doing that? Because they're making people miss. We don't get the block right and he's still getting 10 yards. They're special kids, man. They really are. And like I said, they're special kids, not just as football players, but as a person. They're just phenomenal.
Yeah, it makes your job a lot easier when you got those athletes out there,
Oh, no doubt. No. But, I go back and I always tell people, physical ability is one thing, but to have kids with the mental ability and the humbleness, that's a little bit more special because sometimes I've dealt with athletes that have a lot of ability but don't use that ability for one reason or another, whether, it's their, I guess greediness or whatever it may be, their selfishness. These kids are very unselfish, man. It's always about the team. whatever benefits the team. We tell one that you're going to go quarterback, you go quarterback. If you're going to go to receiver, go to receiver. We've had the bone at tight end sometimes. They just, okay, coach, whatever you want, whatever's best for the team. And I think that's what made it a very special, makes it for a very special team. If you have a lot of players that are unselfish with a lot of ability, you're in a win-win situation.
You guys meet this week, Coach, to decide all the all-district selections and all that? Is that when the 32-5
we'll meet next week. After we'll meet I think it's 2 weeks after. Yes, after the season's over.
You got to
It'll
think
be the Wednesday.
Yeah, because we think that Monty Bowen's one of the best players in the Valley. He might be here as a Player of the Year for 32-5A.
Well, I mean, like I said, I like to see someone that's better than him as a part of the district. Because let me tell you, that young man's exceptional. He brings a lot to the table, and I would say that he should be the MVP. And I'll go all out on record. I love that young man. And what he does as far as, like I said, both on and off the field, and he should be well deserving of that title.
And he's got 3 little brothers.
He has 3 little brothers. He has 3 little brothers.
They look just like him too.
Wow.
Yeah, like little clones.
Yeah, they do. They're really good kids too, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, Coach. So what's it been like, Coach, this week? I know you all were up late last night, maybe barbecuing or celebrating a little bit, not getting a lot of sleep. Right?
Well, we didn't have a chance to barbecue because it was a little late, but we stayed in and we let the kids celebrate, more than we used to. We used to give them about 20 minutes after the game and stuff, but it was homecoming.
Right.
So they had the little senior walk.
And then y'all ran sprints, right, to get ready for next week?
Well, maybe not today. We do it on Monday. But so they stayed out there a little bit later than usual and let them enjoy it. It's a big deal for them. And also for the community, man. Donna's a hardcore football town. And,
big time.
The community embraced it. They had parents and community on the field. We were out there for like 30, 35 minutes. And then we finally came in and the kids left and let them enjoy it. So coaches, we just, we went to breakfast. I took the coaches staff to breakfast for the accomplishments. We just got back. We're going to watch film. We'll work today and we'll work tomorrow. We've been working, Monday through Sunday for the last how many weeks, I don't know. But, hey, we got to do whatever it takes to get these kids in the right positions to win.
What does your phone look like after a game like that? Do you have text messages until the morning? I mean, what does that look like for you? And also, can I have your car?
You can have my car. You will be able to have the car after this game, so you can have it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's been going off. It's just like one after the other, after the other, after the other. But these are good ones, After Wesco, they weren't as good as the ones I'm getting right now. I'm not gonna lie. Those were the ones that were deleting without even reading them. But these have been good. So a lot of support from the entire community, both from fans and parents and everybody. And it's been, like I said, a real blessing. And I'm just really happy for these kids. They've worked their butts off all off season to reach this goal, and I'm just happy they could achieve it.
How do you keep the kids focused, Coach, to win this next game? Because y'all can make a run here in the playoffs with the team that y'all have.
I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I need to keep them, hungry. They need to keep them focused. They got to stay humble. That's the biggest thing. Sometimes you get caught up in line up with your district champ. Well, okay, well, that's good for this week. But next week, it's by district. It really, per se, doesn't mean anything. Unless you perform and win next week, you're done. And I think we put too much work into this whole season that just to go out and say, okay, well, district champion is good enough. We need to go out there and play and perform and try to get that by district champion and see how far it can take us.
All right, Coach. Well, if anyone can do it, you can. You have a degree in electrical engineering. Is that right, Coach?
No, not electrical, but I got a math degree, so it helps out a little bit for the numbers.
Yeah, you could have been an electrical engineer if you
I probably
to.
could have. My sister's the one that's the engineer.
Oh,
so
okay, there we go.
I just ask her for that advice.
Well, whenever we need some math tutoring for my daughter or my son, anytime. Yes, sir, we'll put you on speed dial for that as well. Thank you very much, Coach Leal.
You guys have a great day.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, and
Bye-bye.
probably Coach of the Year in 32-5A for winning that district championship. Great job.
Yeah, I think so too.
Nobody really knew who was going to win that district. Mercedes, Ed Calchelsa. I think it was between people were thinking Ed Calchelsa and Donna. Ed Calchelsa ended up with all those injuries. Mercedes, they lost to Donna, and Donna ended up winning out of that 3-horse race. Yeah,
and they were the stronger team coming out of their non-district because they played some tough teams. Nothing against Cal Allen and stuff like that, but locally they played some of our best teams, and they, you remember they barely beat Hannah. They had and Hannah at that time was playing their best football.
Right.
They're playing some really good football. So, you look at that, they played 3 monster teams, and then they went in and went into a monster district. And they did well. We thought PSA Southwest was going to come in, and it was Porter. So anybody could have claimed that 4th spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they actually do have something. They have the capability to do something special here in the playoffs. And that's what you tell your kids, hey, yeah, we won district, but and enjoy it. And I think what you do is you taper down a little bit on football practice. Maybe you don't hit as much, but you do the sprints, you get them conditioned, you get them ready, and you have them mentally focused for the next game, and let them know like we're not relaxing. Maybe we'll taper down a little bit on some of the hitting and stuff like that because you don't want to be injured going into that game. But mentally, you got to tell them, look, this is where you can do something special that people remember you, not only for that district championship, but for that by-district championship, for that second, for that third round. And the media starts coming around. And you have something to do special that you remember for the rest of your life. And the whole town will remember you guys.
Yeah, you think about it. Half the teams in the state last night played their last game. And to be one of those teams that makes the playoffs, it's important. I mean, it's, I see those kids. I mean, I still teach. So I see the kids at Edinburgh, their football career is over as far as high school. I mean, for a lot of them, their college career doesn't include football, and so, to keep that going. I mean,
absolutely.
I wish more kids could feel what it's like to be on the other side, like us, looking back, because you can look back and go, man, I screwed that up.
Yeah,
I should have done this, should have done that.
I should have stayed on the team. I shouldn't have quit.
Yeah,
Stuff like
really.
That. And and it is an experience. It is a Texas, high school football experience, the Friday Night Light experience. And I was just thinking about Coach Leal and his phone blowing up after that 0-2 start. I wonder if anybody got like one of those for sale signs and threw him in his front. He doesn't live. Yeah. He lives someplace else. I don't want to say where because people are going to track him down if he has another season where he starts off 0-2. Just like it happened in Friday Night Lights, and other movies where they start putting that for sale sign. Dunk, 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 dunk.
Yeah,
it gets crazy.
Yeah,
it gets crazy. And now with social media, it's it's even worse.
And you can be anonymous about it now. Caller ID Caller ID kind of screwed it up in the '90s and the early 2000s, and now social media they did it again now. Now you can it's like block calls. You can pretty much do whatever you want.
All right, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's go on to our next segment here. We're talking about things that get under the skin of Jake Berry. And so, Jake, talk to me a little bit. You're at the game. The national anthem comes up. Your dad is someone who's been in the military his whole life. I mean, you're a military brat. So talk to me about that.
No, I've been saying this for a while. I thought Edinburgh finally did this, and I congratulate them. It only took you about 10 years.
Let me just say, it's not just okay. Go ahead.
It's not just Edinburgh, right? But I'm there. I was a coach in the district. They would always ruin the national anthem, and I remember I posted this one time on our forum. I posted that should you desecrate the national anthem at the end of the anthem by saying home of the, and every school that I would see and I felt like it started around Edinburgh because I was there, would ruin it by saying home of the, and they would say Bobcats, and then the Jaguars would say Jaguars, and Edinburgh finally started. There was an email that went out that basically said stop it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're going to stop doing that.
Okay.
And I'm very proud that they finally did that because I had a lot of coaches that were like, well, no, I mean it's tradition. I go, what tradition? Exactly. I go because I don't remember doing this at church when during a prayer, hallelujah, Bobcat. I don't remember doing that. Screaming that. Oh yeah, we have to throw into everything or where we're from.
Right. Exactly.
I don't say home of the Jesus. You don't do that. You kind of, it's sacrilegious to me, and I think that finally it happened.
Stop doing it.
Yeah, and I know you hear it other places.
Yeah, I've heard it at other schools do that as well, and I've always thought it's always been in the back. Yeah, that just doesn't sound right. It's the national anthem. You don't do that, right, Henry? I mean, you got to just sing the national anthem. Don't insert high school football or your mascot in there. It kind of bothers me, but I didn't take it one step further and go on social media. I mean, you did.
Yeah, I did. And people thought I was stupid. But people thought I was stupid. And finally, people are realizing, hey, we probably shouldn't have done that. And I equate it to Kellen Winslow Jr. I don't know if you remember when he was at Miami, he said he was a soldier.
Right.
I'm from the U. I'm a soldier. And then, people started ridiculing because you're not. You're just a football player.
Right.
You're not brave. You're a football player.
Right.
Don't put in brave because brave actually means guys that died.
And also there was a time where there wasn't a war going on. I grew up in the '80s. There wasn't a war going, and there were pockets of wars here and there, but we didn't know people. The Vietnam era was over, and there was a lot of peace and not a lot of action going on in that '80s period. And then in the 90s, of course, we have invasion of Kuwait, and then we
Yeah.
start to, get involved in military exercises and stuff like that. So it was maybe okay to say, yeah, I'm wearing camo today.
Yeah.
I'm all camoed out because I'm a soldier. But then once we started knowing people that were actually involved in war, you're like, you know what?
Yeah, and I had a student that
that's-
died in Afghanistan and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So
But,
you
I
think about it
yeah.
differently now because we're in an era where we've been in wars. We know people, we know families that have gone through that. So you treat it with a little bit more respect. The national anthem, the flag, and then any references to war and in the military.
Yeah, and I was a little embarrassed. I brought, my dad would go see my nephew play when he moved down here from Connecticut and played for for Edinburgh. And you go to the games and you'd be like, oh, because my dad would say stuff. My dad is,
Your dad's special forces.
yeah, so he's a colonel of Vietnam and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was enlisted then. But, it's one of those things you're just like, you're making me look bad here.
Yeah, exactly.
And people would say, but people would be like, oh, no. And I've had servicemen that, that were Bobcats, and they would be like, well, no, it's not. It's tradition. And I'm like, I realize that. For you, it's tradition because you're from here. But everybody else, we go away to, an away game, up north. Ooh, look, they're ruining the national anthem.
Right.
And it almost makes us look bad. That was just my take. And
Sure.
and coaches some coaches that were my friends would tell me I was stupid. So but I'm glad they changed it.
Yeah, it's one of those.
But
It's
stupid
one of those.
anyways.
Yeah, it's an opinion. Everybody has those opinions, and part of this show is to talk a little bit about some of those things. We talk to the coaches, we talk about the scores and stuff like that, and then throw out some opinions on there, and people can take it either way, and all those things are going to be controversial, any way that you take it. So.
Yeah.
But we're talking sports, and there's sports-related controversies.
Yeah.
We're gonna stay away from
But we're not talking.
the
We're not talking. Yeah.
we're not going to, Clinton or Trump. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
know?
Because you never know. Somebody's going to get a scholarship to Army, like Ben Carson. So.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a break right now, listening to Fox Sports 1700, Carlos Roberto, along with Jake Berry. When we come back, we will have more on our game of the week at the Knuckle Bowl. We're going to talk to the winning head coach, Tony Villarreal, 31-6A champions, when we come back.